Hello, fist to you all, because it's time once again to see out this week. And we're going to see out this week in style, my friends, in absolute style and joy. I'm sorry I'm running late today. There's a lot happening. Why? As you can see, I am wearing my official PreachCon 2022 t-shirt, and it's getting real, dude. It's getting real. It's just a couple of weeks away. It's encroaching, one foot in front of the other. It is encroaching and approaching us all. Getting ready to spend some time with you guys, and that means a lot of organization on my side. A lot of organization to make sure everything's going to work, everything's going to be fine, no one's going to end up in a mess. We're all going to be cool, calm, and collected as we gather up. It feels scary. It feels genuinely scary that it's happening again. Feels like the first time, because it's been such a long time since we did one of these. Everything feels new. I've got all the team now. It's like, where do I direct all that stuff? Because usually I deal with everything. It's like, okay, this is taken care of, right? This is happening and this is going to happen, and what ideas we could throw at it, and making sure our special secret guests are being taken care of as well. Oh my God. It feels like the first time. It does. It feels like the very first time we ever did one of these events. That nervousness is there, you know? I mean, I'm not one for getting nervous. I don't think I've actually been nervous in probably over a decade. I don't think so, anyway. But it feels like, okay, just gotta focus on the little things and make sure they all happen and check those boxes as we go through. It's the first time in 3-4 years, something like that, since we put it together. Will the Queen show up? No, I don't think so. She always refuses to answer my calls, but I know that Isaac has prepared a special box with a handcuff around it. That's concerning. That's concerning, isn't it? That's not something we want to see in our lives. But that is definitely happening. So we'll see what goes on as you guys descend upon Manchester in the next couple of weeks. And we will say we do know that some flights out of the Netherlands have been cancelled. So double check that. There are other flights available still. So just double check how you're traveling. Bex informed us that their backup plan, if their Netherlands trip gets mixed up, is they're taking a boat. They're going to be, if they have to, their flight has not been cancelled, is to travel over here. But what I can report is that Manchester, at least for the moment, seems okay. Manchester seems fine, especially if you're not traveling with a ton of luggage. Luggage seems to be the problem. If you can fit your underpants and your underwear and all that kind of stuff into a backpack, you should be fine. Into a carry-on bag. You should be totally fine to walk on, walk off. At Manchester. But if you're bringing luggage, then you may run into some issues, because apparently if you don't pay people enough money, they don't do the job that you want them to do. So please all bring spare underwear, especially those of you who are coming for the entire week. Yeah, I'm not seeing you like on stage till Wednesday, when I'll be spending most of my time with you. So if you're arriving, because I found out today, I've just come out of my team meeting. Thank you, police. I've just come out of my team meeting where the wonderful PreachCon WhatsApp and Discord has organized karaoke night, barbecue outdoors. They're going to Alton Towers on trips. It seems like PreachCon itself is very second fiddle to everything else that's being organized amongst all the crew of people that are doing true and real. Yes, yeah, I'm so jealous. Yeah, they're organizing outdoor barbecues. They're going on trips together. They're doing all kinds of stuff that they're organizing together. I'm a little jealous. I'm a little jealous that my time's sadly taken up putting on a show for you guys and getting everybody there. So you guys go and have a good time. I'm sure I won't be pissed at all. That situation. It should be good. But if you do want your PreachCon shirts, if you're not coming, they're now fully available for you guys. They're awesome, along with some cool Emmett Selk stuff and other cool things. Because if you don't know, and just 6 days ago, we held possibly the biggest in-game Final Fantasy IV event of all time. I call that a rousing success. The rejoining was a ridiculous event, and it was only 6 days ago. It feels like an eternity with how things are racing through the time at the Final Fantasy 14. You know what I'm talking about. It feels like forever ago, doesn't it? It feels forever ago already because of how much we've been doing this week. But yeah, it was only 6 days ago that we held that event, which was just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. I do know, I think about 8 tickets have returned for PreachCon from people who can't make it for whatever reason, with flight issues or whatever it might be. So we may have like 8 or so tickets going on sale in the next week or so. We're going to do a final head count on Monday to make sure we're not oversubscribed, because then we can't physically let you into the building because we're at maximum legal capacity already. So we'll have that confirmed for you in the next few days. For anybody who's... I know I've had quite a few emails from people who are like, can I still get a ticket? Like, no, it's gone, but we might have a few coming spare. Okay. Oh, Damavand. Oh, my God. Right. For those of you here right now, though, you're here to hear some silly stories from people around the world doing all sorts of crazy things. And off the back of last week's story, and it's often the case with Drama Time, if someone hears a story and goes, oh, actually, something happened to me, or I could use your help, is we have had a request for the court. Court is in session. Because where else will you find a true and honest opinion than Drama Time? I will be the judge. The audience, our live audience at least, who join us every Friday at 4 p.m, will be our jury, so to speak. I will take their opinion into consideration. It may not sway my mind, as I am clearly the most level-headed person here right now. Right? That makes sense. I'm the one with the gavel. I'm regulation. I'm the one who's correct. So, I will take on those opponents. Only while not in Final Fantasy XIV. This story takes place in Final Fantasy XIV. Let's see. All right. Am I toxic? Our author asks to us on this fine, fine day. Oh, also, Team UK, be careful. We're at code red alert, by the way, for next week. It's going to be way too stupid hot for the UK. The hottest temperature on record is scheduled for Monday and Tuesday. People are definitely going to die. So please take care of oneselves, okay? I'm not sure I recommend the ice in the hat technique, which was recommended on the website. Not sure about that. Holla baller and a brofist to the entire PG team. I've been a big fan of yours for many, many years. And I've been lucky enough to work from home for 2 years and got to watch many, many live streams and Drama Time Live. So our author is probably here today. Please be polite, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, I've had to go back working at the office. So I have to catch up with the VODs. Okay, we're safe, guys. They're not here. It's fine. It's fine. We're safe. This is the first story I've ever written. And I do it so I can ask for you and the upstanding and righteous jury. Okay. The butt kissing is there. In your wonderful live chat. Guys, am I toxic? I have played many MMOs. I am a seasoned gamer. I have mainly played World of Warcraft and Destiny 2, but I never liked to push high-end. Only a little bit of casual raiding, dipping my toe into some dungeon content, you know, the usual. I like to be casual in them all, coming and going when I please, free of restrictions. And this is why I have found Final Fantasy XIV great. There's so much to do for the casual player. So much endless content to do without requiring some sort of organized team. I'm still playing through A Realm Reborn. Oh, he's a sprout. Oh, bless. Although, I have 20 days playtime as I keep getting distracted by the myriad things to do while I'm playing through the story. I do find, though, I'm not going to lie, at times, that running around fairly casual means you do come across those people that think they are awesome. Amazing. When they are actually dog shit. So toxicity can follow, but I try to avoid it still. And I thought FF14 was a good place to avoid toxic behavior. We actually have a video on this coming out this week. We actually have a video about this coming on YouTube in the next couple of days that Chris has been working on. P.S. Well, that is except when it comes to playing games against my kids. I've learnt from you, Mike. Oh no. Please note, most of the stories I tell about my kids and games on stream are entirely fictional. Okay? I do not harass and harangue my children for being shit. I think it internally, but I'm still a parent. Okay? Internally, I'm crying inside. When I see them fail at the most simple of tasks, I'm crying inside. But They're children. I was better than them at that age, and they should get better. So thankful Roblox wasn't out when I was a kid. They get told. My kids get told. If they're being scrubs, then they should just get good. And get better like I had to at their age. They should learn. Otherwise, they'll just be noobs forever. So my story does take place in Final Fantasy XIV. And happened when I decided I wanted to try out playing Ninja. Now, I've never played Ninja. This is me speaking. I've not played Ninja yet. I decided to do a daily leveling dungeon. Oh, dungeon toxicity. Ooh, okay. I decided to do a daily leveling dungeon in between just a few hours at the Gold Saucer. That goddamn saucer. I don't even need anything from the saucer, and I still go there every single day. Every single day. It's the best way of starting the day, unless I lose continuously. I did not fancy doing another leap of faith, and the queue popped after about 10 minutes, and I joined and was taken to the wonderful environment of Desamel Darkhold. I couldn't remember this dungeon, but thought, it's okay. It's a Realm Reborn leveling dungeon. How could things possibly go wrong? I don't know if I should have realized straight away, though. There may have been an issue, as every single person in my leveling dungeon had a lovely green sprout icon next to their name. But who am I to judge? I have a lovely green sprout next to my name. And if after all this time, Chris of the PG team is still a sprout too, maybe I'm not that bad. I'm sorry to inform you, Arthur. Chris is no longer a sprout. You pissed off the beast.
Can we offer some correction here?
You've woken the animal. You've woken the beast.
Can this bit of fake news get some correction here?
I did correct it.
As I am no longer a sprout.
Still not finished Endwalker though.
I've barely started it.
Fucking hell.
But I've gotten to the city.
Okay, that's great. That is great. He has seen old Charlian. Okay, wonderful. He has seen old Charlian. Rip the meme. Rip the meme. Yes. So, off we go. A group of 4 sprouts proceeding apace. The journey to the first boss was very slow. The paladin of our group, Ryan, pulled only a single pack at a time. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Taking it nice and slow, guys. We're gonna ease our way into this. We're gonna ease our way into this. Single packs. After just 2 of the packs were killed, the white mage Damavand piped up. Please, pull more. Please. But Ryan, our paladin, simply ignored Damavand's request. A larger pack was pulled, so we started to DPS it down and find that I have pulled aggro off several mobs. Now, okay, look, this isn't his fault. I'm guilty of this. Sometimes you forget, alright? This comes from World of Warcraft playing. I'm telling you, where you don't have to press a button to be able to generate threat. Okay? You just do. You just do. That's it. It do be like that sometimes, but you notice when the mobs start running around and you switch it on, but we're all guilty of doing it at some point. I figure, due to my World of Warcraft background, that maybe his AoE hasn't hit the enemies, but I'm a good player. I may be casual, but I know what I'm doing. So I go and stand up top Ryan, so his abilities will hit them. But nothing happens. I stun one, use feint and defensives, and I try to heal myself. But I appear that I still have aggro. And I'm not getting any healing. I died, but it was only trash. So I assumed... Oh, no. I assumed... Does anyone know what his assumption is? It's the same assumption I'd have as well, actually. I'll just say it. I died, but it was only a single trash pack. So I assumed that they'd kill it. So I waited for the res. Took quite some time for this trash pack to die. A couple of minutes, actually. I assumed the healer didn't have swift cast for the res, so thought to wait as couldn't take too long to kill a single trash pack, surely. After the trash pack died, our white mage Damavand started to explain to Ryan how they should have been tanking the enemies on the seals to start unlocking. That's the problem. He's not tanking on top of the seals to start unlocking them and speed the dungeon up. That's the problem here. But I realized very quickly that while Damavand was doing this typing, there was no res coming out. Maybe I am the sprout here, I thought to myself. The white mage probably knows that there's a shortcut or we've got a checkpoint or something like that. So, I release. But no. No, there isn't. I'm at the start of the dungeon on my own. Okay. Sure. So I put my sprint button and I start running my ass back to the group who had decided that they would wait patiently for me to arrive. There's nothing worse. You didn't res me and then you didn't push forward either. You just slowed everybody down. That was the plan. Not only did you not res me, you then waited and stood around until I ran my ass back to you again. Oh, good God. So we move on to the boss. Ryan decides that he doesn't like where the boss is and moves the boss up to a weird corner. He then obviously decided he didn't like this location. And Ryan began running around the room, moving the boss in various locations, like it was trying to avoid being hit by the boss. It did look to me at the time like he was trying to kite it, and for all I knew, maybe this boss was kiteable in some way. But this meant that I kept missing out on doing my positional damage. Especially when he moved the boss to have its rear pushed against the wall so it faced out towards us. Oh my God, that's not even easy to do. To be fair, that's kind of an advanced tank maneuver, that is. But thankfully, as we all know, the boss is still fairly straightforward. Now, at this point, and maybe I should have done this earlier, I start to question, what should I do? It has become readily apparent to me that there are problems in this group. I'm under no illusions that I'm not amazing. But clearly the other Dragoon DPS, Rillin, seemed to be shit. I will tell you all now, and I promise, and I hold my hand up high, I do not have any third-party interference. I listen to our Lord and Savior Yoshi P, and I have no damage meter. Just the mobs are taking a while to die. Just the mobs are taking a while to die. Okay. Redacted. Yeah, a little bit of redacted in there. Damavand didn't seem to bother with DPSing. Oh God, the healer doesn't do damage. Oh, fucking shoot me in the face. Doesn't res, doesn't do damage. Just shit talks the tank. I like Damavand. I don't DPS. I don't res if you die. I don't heal you if you're dying. Pull faster. Now. Pull more. Pull more. More than this. Stand in the rune, mate. I did notice he never really healed anyone other than the tank, and Ryan didn't seem to know how to use his AoE spells or how to tank well whatsoever. Still, it's a leveling dungeon, guys. It's a leveling dungeon. Things are moving along. It's just the daily. It's fine. Honestly, how long could this dungeon really take? So I decided, after taking all these things into consideration and all the things that I've noticed about it, that I should stick it out. After all, I waited 10 minutes to queue into this. Was I really going to leave and start queuing again to then run another dungeon? But I also thought Should I start telling everyone how to play? I considered that Final Fantasy XIV is considered to be the polite MMO. If I start helping people, would it seem toxic or rude? And also, I'm still a sprout. So maybe what I tell them is wrong. And I don't know. So, I thought about it. And I decided, nope. I'll keep quiet and just get on with my job. So we move on to the next section. And here Daemovan again decided to help. He was telling about how not to tank the mobs next to the crystals as they explode with AoE. So Ryan ran and pulled the first pack and then tried to edge them back. But he edged back just far enough so that only he was outside of the AoE. Whereas I couldn't get into the pack to AoE any of them. Jesus fucking Christ. So I couldn't get in there, as there was also a caster mob that sat in the middle spamming spells out that was not being hit by Ryan at all. Now, as we worked around this problem and kept trying to do damage and avoid a lot of AoE attacks, eventually people died. Ryan died, then the Dragoon Rillin. But Daemovan did res Ryan. Daemovan does know about res, just doesn't use it on anyone else. You died, that's your fault, mate. I ain't casting my mana at you. So we got the pack down. But then I noticed, oh god, I'm not even joking, that Daemovan was not resing Rillin. He doesn't res DPS. I like this healer. If your DPS dies, that's your fault. Even if the tank died, then you died, that's still your fault. You should have done it. They queued together 100%. I don't know, man. Now, Rillin gets up and runs back to where we are. Oh, good stuff. And this method of trying to move forward proceeded. He would still tank next to the crystals. We would still eventually die. We would get no reses unless Ryan himself died, and trying to do what we could to just push this dungeon forward. I couldn't help it, ladies and gentlemen. I couldn't help it, Mike. I started to get annoyed. Started to get frustrated. And a part of my brain awoke that has been sleeping since I uninstalled Shadowlands. Oh no. It's coming back. Oh no. I started paying less attention. I started to just use my dog shit ranged attack and stood well away from all the action. My mouse moved away from Final Fantasy XIV and it clicked onto the YouTube button. On one of the packs, Ryan died again. And all the mobs went for Daemovan because neither me or the Dragoon were doing any damage anymore. That's really funny. Oh god, that's genius. Oh, that's genius. I killed him, and then the mobs turned to me and Rillin, and we had a full group wipe on trash. I was super pissed at this point. Daemovan had mentioned, despite the lack of resing and healing non-tank players, not to tank near these goddamn crystals. So, another part of my brain awoke. Another part of the beast that had been sleeping since the Shadowlands. I decided I would help Ryan pull. So I did. And I moved out of line of sight to bring everything so nice and neatly around a corner. And it was the most glorious death ball I had seen in the entire day. Watching them was like poetry. I knew it was possible. I knew it could be done. And when Ryan did pick them up, we were all able to DPS with no issues. Except very quickly I started to get smashed up. And I was struggling to survive. It appeared that Ryan hadn't picked them up. He had walked into the pack and was not helping. Damavand also was not healing me. Possibly due to his mantra of not healing DPSs. So me and Rillen were on our own in this pack DPSing while the other two stood AFK. We killed it without a death. And ironically, with only 50% of the group actually trying, we still did better than the last 10 to 15 minutes I had spent in this dungeon. And then the words were spoken from Damavand. The words that really woke the beast. I had not seen these words in nearly 6 months. If you pull it, you tank it. You piece of shit. You piece of shit. You absolute piece of shit. Fucking hell. Oh, God. And there it is. The beast rises. Luckily for me, there was not much left before the next boss. Are you only on boss 2? Oh, my God. They still haven't reached boss 2. Fuck my life, man. I managed to get through with the tank leading, doing the same, and we just pushed through as best we possibly could. Well, now we've reached the second boss. And this boss is so easy. So easy. Dodge the AoE and DPS. There's nothing more than that if you're moving when needed. There's nothing else. Or so I fucking thought. We start DPSing, but Ryan is barely moving. And he's getting smashed by all the AoE. So Damavand's only option at this point is to spam heal him through all of the incoming damage. While he's doing this, we whittle down that health. But Rillen dies. And of course, there shall be no res for a DPS. That would be sacrilege and against the ancient prophecy in the scrolls. Because he's taking all the avoidable damage, Ryan eventually succumbs. And dies. And the boss, of course, looks to me. Lucky it was low enough that kiting, defensive, some hits and ranged attacks managed to finish it off. As only 2 of us are left standing. Everyone else must release and run back, and then stand still, unsure what to do. Even though we've killed 2 bosses, I'm considering quitting. But then I think, no. I'm just a lowly DPS. It would take longer to find another group and run another dungeon than finish just what's left of where I am. So I go and I click the portal to move to the next area. It appears to prompt everyone else to realize what they should do. Oh, I forgot they were all sprouts. They actually didn't know what to do. Oh my God. Is it over? Did we win? They actually don't. I was wondering why they all stood around not sure what to do. It's because they don't know what to click the portal. Oh, Jesus fuck. And they all start following me through. Okay, good. Now, I have to be honest with you, that this story of doom and gloom, this area is not too bad. The trash is nice and simple, and we move forward okay, if not still slowly with 1 pack at a time, which I thought, hey, okay, this is good. We reach the final boss, and I think, thank God, because I know where I'm going straight after this, and it's saucy and gold. It starts okay, nothing really happens, and then you must go and kill a crystal while the boss is immune to damage. Everyone runs over and stands on top of the crystal, which is okay at first until you realise that the boss is about to fire the laser at one party member and can one-shot you if hit. Does it? Really? I've never been hit by that. Does it one-shot you? No way. It doesn't? Okay. Unless you're already low health, I imagine. I think that's his point. It's like if you've already got low health because you're not being healed by our patron saint of white mages, Damavand, yeah, then you can get blasted. Ryan was targeted first and stood still when targeted until the orange bar showed on the floor. Right, okay, we just move away from the crystal for a moment. It's only a slight DPS loss. But then Rillen's targeted and the same thing happens, so I run out again. I think, thank God, this is not actually a DPS requirement. We break the crystal after a few more backwards and forwards and go back to DPS the boss. Again, we must go and kill the crystal and the other players stand in the center of the crystal. I'm overjoyed when it targets me, so I can calmly, sensibly, and politely move the target away from the crystal and then go back into DPS while the attack goes off. The second crystal is destroyed and we DPS the boss, and I feel so happy that now the group has seen how we can deal with this and make life so much easier. LB2 comes up, so I use it to try and get as much damage done as we can to move on. The third and final crystal phase came up, and they had not learned what to do. It's more of the same. As anybody targeted just stays standing on the crystal. But of course, as no doubt your audience feels at this point, I expected no less from this group. The final phase starts. And the new part is void pools appear under players and do dot damage and then explode. We have seen this in countless games, in countless MMOs. I think it's handy we are mainly melee, as we can drop them together most likely and then move as a cohesive unit. Okay, sure, dude. I don't know why after all this I thought about something like that, but it came back to me from some dungeons I'd done with good players in the past. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. But of course, no. The first pool that drops is on Ryan, our beautiful, beautiful tank. And Ryan remains firmly planted like the tree of a man he is in his void pool. I find somewhere I could DPS not study them, but when the next set comes in, it's Rillen. He's stuck finding a spot. Clearly, as I watch his character run left and right, trying to find a safe place to stand, I see the point where he physically decides there is no safe spot, and instead decides to stand in it and die. Well, what am I going to do? Not DPS? You put me in this position. What am I going to do? Not DPS? Fuck that. Fuck that. I still need to do damage. Guess I'll just ram my face into the floor instead. I've moved out again and found a place at max range where I can just about reach the boss. But Ryan stays solid. Stoic in his determination to maintain his tanking position as the pool eats away at his HP. And Ryan melts into that void pool and dies. Daemovan gets aggro, so starts spam healing himself to try and survive whilst also still stood in the pool. Oh, what a baller. Daemovan's not moving either. Fuck this shit. I'll out heal it and the boss. Try and stop me. Come on. Again. Hit me. Hit me, boss. Come on. I try to use range attacks to get aggro, but I cannot and just do what damage I can. The boss is almost dead. But I'm almost tickling it now, or so it feels. Daemovan dies, so I get ready to use what I can to finish off this nightmare. I pop defensive heals, and luckily, due to the length of the fight, I've been able to get all my CDs back. So I popped them, and healed over the time, and yes, the boss died. And then instinct kicked in. Instinct kicked in. The moment the boss died, I hit enter and I typed GG. As my finger approached the enter key to send my message out to my comrades, my brain stopped me. No. I shouldn't. I mustn't. I won't. I thought it's not right that I send this message. This hasn't been a good game. And then Daemovan decided to critique the dungeon run before I was able to say anything. Oh, this is good. Oh, Daemovan's going to give us some critique. Well. This was rubbish, wasn't it? If only the DPS had not been running off in front of this, might have gone well. Fuck that. Fuck that. I thought, fuck it. No. I almost went to respond with a toxic comment, but decided no. I decided I would commit the purest acts of toxicity I could. Something that would hurt more than leaving a horrible comment. I did not give a commendation and I left the group. Jesus Christ. Oh, my heart and soul. Oh, the gasps. No. I'd like to ask the judge and jury, am I toxic? Should I have spoken up and tried mentoring like Damovan did? Should I have left the group when I knew it was dog shit? And really, should I still, after all this, have given a commendation, even though I felt like I was the only one who deserved one? And yes, I did get a commendation from somebody. Thank you for reading my story. I will accept any judgment and understand I can sacrifice Lalafels to the trolley, the Que, and the Holy Yam, and redemption, which I am willing to do. Look, I think Arthur, in this case, the court, for the first time in many a month, declares you not guilty. Not guilty. Nobody deserved accommodation. Not even the Dragoon. No. Not guilty. It is by the decree of this court you are found not guilty. No Lalafels will be sacrificed today. Sweet Jesus. Give him a warning, though. Give him a warning. If you have any requirements for judgment of the court, make sure you get them sent in to drama@preachgaming.com. Okay, let me zoom out here because these stories are really long. Luckily, my wife and family are away till Sunday. So it's fine. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, the title of this has me intrigued. Does this require judgment, Bex? The author thinks his whole guild are dickheads, but to me it sounds like he's a dickhead. Okay. Alright, that seems like it requires some judgment. Yeah, I like the sound of that. That sounds good. Then leave! For the love of God! Leave! Okay, we got three... Oh, we need a guild name. Okay, we need a WoW guild name. And it can't be Mike doesn't have alpha, right? You can't bully me. That's not fair. WoW wives. The Shield of Virginity? The Shield of Virginity. That name's too funny. We're using it. The Shield of Virginity. I am protected by my purity. I am protected. The tagline that Bex has put for this is everybody in this story sounds like a dickhead. Perfect. Okay. All right, let's go. Hey, Mikey, and hey, the pause. Okay, gavel's ready. All right, not even buttering up the jury. Interesting. Interesting. The story takes us back to World of Warcraft's beta in 2003 and ends in 2022. Wow, a tale as old as time. WoW was not my first MMO that I got into. My first ever MMO that I wet my whistle on was Final Fantasy XI. Now, luckily, sadly, maybe, because I met a lot of people in the beta, and we started on release day together, our guild, the Shield of Virginity, was created on day 2 of the release, and the guild died in February 2022. Wow, that sucks, actually. That's really sad. But how, you might ask? How, you might ask? All veterans of the guild were there for the entire duration of the guild's existence. We had an anniversary party in real life after the 5-year mark, and we had one every single year in real life, year on year after that party. 10 years and 15 years, we made trips to the Netherlands and to the United Kingdom. Most of us started our WoW adventure in the 15 to 19 years bracket of age, and 32 to 36 in the bitter end. Obviously, during this time, Mike and audience, so many things happened. Members of the guild got married. They got kids and all sorts of other grown-up things. And it must sound like it was best friends forever, right? Spoiler alert. On this day, as I sit here and write this tale to you all, I hate them. I hate every single one of them. I hate them with all my heart. Colour me interested. Colour me interested. Well, let us go back to the beginning. I started as a smart rogue. My best friends I met in the beta and played with for 15 plus years were Marikos, the undead warrior, Zathrox, the Tauren warrior, and Codvir, the Tauren hunter, and finally Flexion, the troll priest. We made every single dungeon together. And yes, we were a bit stupid and we played with 2 tanks most of the time because Marikos and Zathrox wanted to be tanks in the raids, so they both decided to level as tanks. Meaningful choice. Right? That was their meaningful choice. And how dare you, Sir Arthur, diminish their meaningful choice? They committed to a cause. Alright? And it is not your place to take it away from them. Now, of the 2, Marikos was the serious one. Zathrox was the clown. Codvir was the Karen. And Flexion was the token girl. Is that true? Does every dungeon group need a girl in it? I'm not sure that's accurate. She was 1 out of 5 of the female players in our guild, which was 100 members strong without alts. That's a low ratio. But it is 2003, and girls didn't start playing games till 2017. This is known. I was, at the end, like many people, a World of Warcraft hater. We did all the dungeons together, farmed together, raided together, and sadly sometimes listened together how Zathrox said he needs to be AFK for a bit. He never used push to talk because he can't play that way, in his words. So... So, yes, we did have that one occasion where he said he was going AFK during leveling and jacked off to his unmuted microphone. Now, the next sentence really bothers me. This is me saying this. This is Mike. After the first time... Oh, no. It happened more than once. After the first time this happened, Mariko said, Bro, you didn't mute your mic and we heard fucking everything. Zathrox, the jerker, thought it was funny. He thought we were kidding and it was just a joke. In total, Mike, I shit you not, this happened 5 to 6 times over the course I knew him. Just want to double check something. So you guys repeatedly listen to this instead of not. So, it happened a total of 5, 6 times over the course that I knew him. Up to that point, Flexion thought it was a joke. Oh, Flexion's the lady of our group, isn't it? And he was probably fake fapping to make a joke. I don't like this. don't like this. I don't like this. I need a bath. I need a bath. And that was the end of drama time. Until one of the occasions he didn't mute, and we heard him mention Flexion. God, Flexion, you have such nice troll tits. While he was fapping. At this point, Flexion started to scream like hell. What the fuck is wrong with you? Ew! But he muted us. So after like 30 seconds, she spammed in group chat. Not muted, idiot! Not muted! Stop! You are not muted! It took him some seconds to realize, and the last thing we heard was him rip off his headset, leaving the voice chat, and leaving the game. Oh, we thank God. Oh, bless us. Ah, he's gone. So, really though, you guys did listen to this like 5 or 6 times then, before this point. Like, through the whole sesh. Interesting. Interesting. Not bad. Not bad. Oh, but he didn't stay away. Oh, fuck off, man. He didn't stay away. Zathrox did not come back online for around 3 weeks. But he did come back. Oh, thank God. Wonderful. When he did come back, he had a new microphone. And the solution is clearly a different microphone. That's what it is. And he would now start using push to talk sometimes. Luckily at this point we all had full tier 2 already and best. He did all this through just vanilla. Guy likes to jerk off while gaming a lot. Interesting. And we already had best in slot for what was vanilla at the time. Best in slot in it says in classic here. Is this more? No, because you started whiles ago, right? Because Flexion dodged all group invites for dungeons for about 2 months and only wanted to raid, she only joined for PvP when Zathrox was not there. I don't blame her. We four ended up with PvP rank 10 or 12 in the end. Zathrox only made it to rank 6 or 7 because at some point we did have to play with Flexion. Oh my God. So you're having to rotate Flexion or Zathrox, the jerker and the jerky. Oh, Jesus Christ. After Fapgate, we went back to our normal stuff. 1 to 2 dungeons a night, some PvP, and the weekly raids, of course. Now let's go months later. The Burning Crusade. Black Temple was released. And for like 3 or 4 weeks, I got asked IRL if I wanted to join a party of school friends. I thought we're stuck anyways at the 2nd or 3rd boss, Supremus? Noobs. So I told my guild that I could not join on raid day. Now the guild leader was pissed at me. He said it was way too late to just leave a hole in the raid, and he did the ultimate punishment. He reduced my DKP. He reduced my DKP by 25 points, which was the equivalent of 2 or 3 boss kills. Too far? Too far? This really upset. This really upset me as I was saving to get some good loot. But I was young, horny, and as I said, thought that they wouldn't kill the boss anyway. So I tried to make the best of that party night. The party was dog shit and boring. I got baited by the prospect of IRL boober, and in the end, I just ended up getting drunk, talking boring gossip shit, and it was an utter waste of time compared to raiding. This is well shit. All I did was drink and talk to people. Dog shit. I lost DKP for this. I lost DKP. Sounds about right. I lost DKP for this. All I did was socialize with people in my real life for a few hours. It was shit. It was well shit. What made it even worse is the next day when I logged in, they killed the boss. And another boss, as it turned out to be dead easy. So you must have been stuck on Supremus and you killed a Karma. Because you wouldn't have killed Terron quickly. Or Gertog. So you must have been stuck on Supremus. Losers. I declare to you now, that was my final IRL party. At least on raid days. Jesus. So I decided I was going to commit to make sure that I would be at every single raid. The older ones of Black Temple, of course, to grind as much DKP as possible. I don't know how other raids use their DKP, but for us it was mostly a secret auction. Oh, this is brilliant. People send the amount of points they want to pay for an item to the raid leader in the pink, and the player with the highest amount wins it. That is definitely not open for abuse at all. That is really good. Yeah, anonymous bidding. Oh, I like it. This is great. There was one exception to this, as you might imagine, ladies and gentlemen. Our main tank, Maricos, who was also our raid leader, didn't have any DKP. It was agreed that he would have all his gear funneled to him for being our main tank. At the beginning of the Burning Crusade, I had by far the most DKP out of everyone. About 2,600 points-ish. Number 3 was Zathrox the Fapper with about 1,500. And poor Flexion and Codveer were around the number 10 mark with about 1,000. The DKP scam was the second dark secret. Okay, so does anybody know? I think I can guess what the DKP scam is. And it's not a scam. It's just really beneficial for mature people. Come on, DKP users. What's the scam? Only worked circa vanilla in the Burning Crusade. What's the scamboozle? Even if you bid and someone has prior, you lose it? No, probably just lies about how many people put in. No, not that. It's a very common scam that happened all the time. Collusion. Yes, collusion would be the correct word for it. It would be collusion. So what you do is you make an agreement of who will get X item so that you don't keep outbidding each other and you can all bid the absolute minimum to win it and nobody else will outbid you. If it works a treat because the other idiots who don't do that keep outbidding each other and have no points. It's a very, very old school system that works very, very well. In our guild, we're only a handful of leather wearers. Only a few rogues and even less druids. We were like 6 people in total. And back in the days, we had class leaders. I was the rogue class leader. And a friend of mine, a super chill and often stoned student, was the class leader of the druids. The reason I had so much DKP, we coordinated. We coordinated the amounts of DKP we would throw in the secret auction. So, I used barely anything to get my weapons or armor. And no one else used that high DKP for one single item. But for leather gear, I could get my DKP. For example, a weapon might be about 400 DKP. But for my armor, I was paying something like 5 or 10 DKP. And I was like, oh, I guess it was luck that just no one else wanted it this time. Smile. Well, we had our own little channel, so no one wasted big amounts of points. And we could abuse the shit out of taking weapons from warriors and stuff. Stupid warriors. Well, we had our own little channel, so no one ever wasted DKP. It was against, but we have to say, it was specifically said that collusion of DKP was against the loot rules and the spirit of the DKP system. I don't think so. I think it's perfectly in spirit with the DKP system. It's perfectly in spirit. Yeah, you're not allowed to collude. Yeah, no, it's not. This is like, don't talk about how much you get paid, right? Like, shh. But we kept it going nonetheless. The third dark secret was Codveer's secret. I figured it out 1 to 2 weeks before Wrath of the Lich King. Codveer had an alt, a rogue. He used that rogue to make some easy coins with chest opening. But that wasn't enough. People would send him their chests via mailbox and he'd open them and tuck the loot. If it's nice loot, he would keep it and send them something shitty in replacement. If it was shit, he'd just send them back. If people asked him why he not just send them the opened chest, he said he had a mod installed that auto-opened and looted chests. And if they don't like it, they don't need to send it to them. But he was easily the fastest person at opening and returning your chests. He wasn't going to uninstall the mod, so it just has to be this way. Of course, he lied twice. Only a handful of people sent him the chest via mail eventually. He said once it's 15 to 20 per day. And of course, he didn't have a mod anymore. Oh, and of course, he was the chest opener for the guild due to his obvious old school nature in the guild. He could be trusted. And to that point, everything was fine. The secrets were nothing more than just funny quirks about how our system worked. Everything that we were doing was forgivable, right? Not a big deal. Just something that we were aware of. I hoarded my DKP in all other expansions too. Yes, Mike, because of the old nature of our guild, we kept our DKP system running until 2022. Are you fucking kidding me? You used DKP in 2022? Holy fuck, man. Jesus Christ. And I tell you, it worked out pretty well. I guess during this time, Zathrox was still the fapper when he was AFK, and Codveer still tried to find ways of scamming a little bit of gold out of people, if not with chests, then with something else. But with Warlords of Draenor, we all started to spam alts and make gold out of the arse. Especially Flexion, who made 49 alts so she could abuse the garrison. She used Recruit a Friend and multi-boxed them all to max level. I had her in this Battle.net's friends list thing. So sometimes I would see her online with all her characters. Sometimes in Silvermoon with different characters, but all of them were Blood Elves. Without many details, her dark secret was she was selling ERP for a lot of gold. And holy shit, she was loaded. She was loaded. Well, she's a busy girl. So you did 49 characters and ERP? That's some goblin behavior right there. That's some real goblin behavior. She was the one who later had the big dinosaur auction mount and all that swag. But here it comes. The shit show and the drama that you so lovingly crave. She was super duper angry because she thought I could tell Zathrox. He was the one being the non-mute button creep from earlier. We remember Zathrox. Without that knowledge, he would do even more often. If Zathrox was to find out she was selling ERP, he would be AFK far more often. She started to insult me when I found out and never trusted me from that day on. Of course, it made me angry, but I promise I never told Zathrox. Until February 2022. Oh, no. So let's go to... Oh, God. So let us go to February 2022. Oh, no. We are in the pit of hell itself. We're doing Torghast. Well, I mean... Torghast is bound to drive people to lunacy, I suppose. Our Fapper boy Zathrox has bought himself a brand new PC and audio setup, and he still refuses to use push to talk. At this point, just a week after he got his new setup, he goes AFK and starts to jerk off. Isn't this guy like 30 odd years old now? Ew. Gross. I mean, that means he's definitely doing it so you guys can listen. And you're listening. Yeah, he's 100% into it. There's no denying it at this point. This guy fucking really enjoys jacking off to internet people. Of course, by this point, and with the lack of jacking off that had been going on for a while, Flexion, by 2022, was back in the group with us again. She completely freaked out at hearing the fapping happening again. I thought I was going to make a funny joke. But apparently, what I said was a big mistake. I said, oh, come on, Flexion. Isn't this just how your customers act when you're in Silvermoon? Kind of true, though. Kind of true. Kind of true. I mean, it's kind of a funny joke. Not the jerking off. We could do without that. Flexion instantly turned into a yelling ball of raging monster. No one used the chat. So Zathrax had time to finish his business, and I felt a bit sad for a second, but not for long. She literally had not been nice to me for months. And in my mind, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. But not only Flexion was mad about it, which is the strange thing. Codveer burst into a rage as well. Have you told everybody about my scams? Can't you keep one shitty secret, you fucking idiot? So you want to tell them about the DKP scam you and the leather shitheads were doing things classic then, fucker. Which in turn then fucked off Marikos. And we all screamed at each other for 5 minutes because we all realized we'd kind of been fucking each other over for over 10 years. And you've made each other... Did you invite the Fapper to the anniversaries IRL? You did, didn't you? I forgot about the yearly anniversaries. Yeah, they must have, right? Ooh, yeah, man. Oh, that's just dawned on me. Ugh. Oh, man. You know he jerked off at those parties, right? Listening to you all downstairs. Let's push forward. The rage amongst our group stopped for like 2 or maybe 3 seconds. When Zathrax said the last words I was able to understand in the voice chat. Hey guys, I'm back. What's going on? I don't remember what people said or did after that all, because Mariko started to kick all of the leather gang that had been scamming our DKP system since time immemorial, including me. Oh no, you all got kicked for DKP scam in 2022, you tragic bunch of motherfuckers. Oh, that's so sad. You got kicked in 2022 over DKP. That's amazing. That's amazing. Almost impressive. It's almost impressive. He started to ban people from the Discord too, and the next day, our guild that was born 2 days from World of Warcraft going live was disbanded completely. Marikos deleted his character. Zathrox didn't give a shit. He just joined another guild. Whatever. I'll just crack one out and move on. Zathrox is like, whatever. It is what it is. Let's move on. Codveer fled from our server, while Flexion, well, she doubled down on her second hobby. I saw her characters a lot in Silvermoon, and for about 10 days after that. And about 10 days after that, I just deleted my characters as well. I changed my Battle.net's password. I was so fucking done with WoW that when I went to the change no, he didn't. I only played the game because of the people I knew. The game fucked me up so hard, it was only chores and no fun for years. So now, I've joined FF14. Oh no. Because one of the best streamers in the world showed the game to me. Yes, Asmongold. Wow. 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 I mean, come on, Preach. Come on. You are a 1 out of 3 fish, poor black mage. And so far, I quite like FF14. By the way, I want you to know, I skipped every cutscene because no one cares for anime weeb stories where streamers cry for subs and donations nodders. That's the reason. I can cry on demand. I can do it. Of course not. Fucking hell, that stupid story broke me. If I'm being honest, that damn story in FF14 broke me. And I'm no one who ever cried in video games or movies, especially not as a father, with dogs and grandparents with dementia. Every sad story punch of the game hit me in the gut. And since I play FF14, I didn't miss raiding at all. And that feels weird, but still good. Oh, right, and as a WoW refugee, I live where I'm supposed to live in the proper FF14 refugee camp, the Gold Saucer. And I'm there at least 1 to 2 hours every single day. Hashtag not addicted. Hashtag not addicted. In the Saucer, that's where all the refugees hang out. We hang out there. Is Zathrox jerking off listening to this? Oh, God. Zathrox is still at it. I don't like it. Call Ross out, why don't you? This is unfortunately not Ross. Well... You're all guilty. Everybody here is guilty. We're more angry at the Fapper. Everybody here is guilty. I feel like you listen to a guy jerk off, like, a lot. As a group of you. I feel like that happened. Like, even if that only happened, like, 7 times in this story, I feel it happened more, and you definitely listened to it. I don't know about that, mate. Jerks off, doesn't mute, destroys, killed, leaves, kick a chat. Please, we can't have a Zathrox party. That's not going to happen. We can't have Team Zathrox, the supporters of the Fappers. No, we're not going to do that. 6 times too many. Yes, yes. Push to talk is your friend. And also, just stop just feeling this urge to jerk off mid-dungeon or whatever it is. Like, what the hell is that? I don't like that. Zathrox Con it is. No. Ladies and gentlemen, that does bring us to the end of drama for today. I'm going to go home and see my doggy, who's been on his own all day, and see if he's okay. We'll be back definitely on Monday. We might have a stream over the weekend because I've got some time, but ideally I want to work on some YouTube stuff because we've got a couple of interesting projects coming up. I hope you've had a wonderful week with us. We've enjoyed the Outer Wilds DLC, which has been fantastic. We've got Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy Origins next week, which should be really good. Excited for everything that's happening next week, actually. And, of course, only 2 weeks till PreachCon. I will let you know about the available tickets. There might be like 7 or 8 available tickets next week. As soon as we got the final head count, I will let you know, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Be awesome, dudes. Love you all. And I will definitely see you at least on Monday. All right? Bye, guys. Holla ballers and a brofist to you all! Because we sit here, we're running really late, like 40 minutes late. It will be a shorter drive time than normal because today we jumped into the Dragonflight Alpha to have a look what was going on with all the changes and have Blizzard changed their ways considering the reasons we left so long ago now, nearly a year since I stood in front of the gates of Orgrimmar itself. Not made any really videos on it or anything. And it was nice. It was nice. Some changes. Some decent so far. Only had a first day of impressions. Checked out a couple of the new dungeons. Tried out the new class. Did all that kind of stuff. Did some healing. Did some DPSing. Tried their starter zone out. And tomorrow we're going to have a little look at the new profession system, which is a big feature of Dragonflight, and see whether that addresses a lot of the concerns that people had considering the expense that they went to with legendaries in Shadowlands, which was a little brutal, and people buying their tokens to afford their legendaries, which is never nice. It's never nice to feel like you have to pay out of pocket to get something that is required of your character. So that has been what we've done today. But on top of that, not me particularly, but a wonderful, famous, world-famous free company of Final Fantasy XIV made the news rounds. Articles written about them trolling me. This is painful and sad and upsetting. We'll link it below. That their shenanigans should, considering all the ridiculous things they've done over the last 12 months at least, and will continue to do so as we have Halloween coming up where we were running a big event there. We'll be sorting that out with you shortly to see what we can do for Halloween for everybody and try and get some prizes and things ready for everyone, is that they made the rounds with their torment and misery that they bestow upon me. Thank you very much. You wonderful people. We made it. You made it. You did make it. Glorious. Glory to you guys. The cause of BBC News after PreachCon. It is less than 2 weeks till PreachCon, until hundreds of you descend upon Manchester. Hopefully the weather will be delicious. It's supposed to be kind of nice. It's going to be nice and sunny and shorts weather without rain, but it won't be so hot that we can fry eggs on the road and people won't be dying and houses won't be bursting into flame as they did last weekend. Because that's what we dealt with in the last 7 days. That's what we dealt with literal houses bursting into flame, which is a great thing. Yes, say hi to Nobble. Nobble is going to spend some time with Lady Bex, which is wonderful. But it's full of Manx. Well, you will change that. You will change that, won't you guys? You will change that. Well, let's have some fun. Let's, with our remainder of our day here, let's have some fun with what we can. And we have... do I have to asterisk this or Chris will shout at me? Probably. I'll do that. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Oh, that's the name box. I can do this. I've done it before. Oh, perfect choice of name. Perfect. Perfect choice of name. Oh, I like that a lot. That's excellent. Who? It says shots. That's what it says. It says shots. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. If you're not familiar with Drama Time, because you've been checking out some of our Dragonflight play, we have people from all over the world who send us the stories of the wonderful and weird and interesting things that people get up to in the world of online gaming. People behave very differently when they're anonymous by the keyboard. Don't they? Don't they? They might say things like, God, I hate that Preach guy. He designed all the BFA endgame. They might say things like that. Not that anybody would, because that would be absurd. Wouldn't it? That would be absurd. Because that wouldn't take 2 seconds to check how wrong that is. That probably would never happen. Right? Right? That would probably never happen. Bad man. Very bad man. Just another part of the dramas that we've had this week. All right. Let's have some fun. Ladies and gentlemen, I come to your audience today because there was a time when I was a pretty normal 12-year-old. I did what I should do as a 12-year-old. I played Call of Duty with my friends after school. I was good at it. I could shoot the people in the face. I joined a quick-scoping clan. And did clan battles. Ooh, when you were 12. A quick scoping clan of 12-year-olds. Ew. Ew. Probably millionaires now if Fortnite was coming out. You probably would have been millionaires in the quick scoping 12-year-old clan. However, the clan discovered something that I had not revealed to them. And that was that I was 12. I'm not exaggerating. They all changed their gamer tags and silently abandoned me. Oh. And there I was, 12 years old, left with a cringy clan name and a completely shattered ego. If you played well, why did they abandon you? That's douchey. That's really douchey. If you were good enough to be part of the clan and play with them, what's the problem? Right? Some of these kids are fucking zoomy hands, man. They're good shit. I did continue to play COD, but deep inside, I knew my competitive career was over at 12. This is it. It's all over. There's no way I could defeat the enemy of being 12 years old. There must be something I could do. If only there was a way of no longer being 12. Oh, I'm just going to give up. I wanted something new. I wanted a fresh adventure. So one day, my brother Lame One, who is 2 years older than me, were watching TV and a commercial came on. God, this commercial really worked. It was for a sick brand new MMO called Cataclysm. You dumb bastards. You dumb bastards. Oh my God, kids are so fucking stupid. I wasn't sold on it, but Lame One. He came more than the idea of playing Quidditch IRL. We stayed up till 4 a.m. playing Toontown together on our dad's work computers. So surely In his mind, it was time to move up to the grown-up MMO. Now that we had reached our teens, we considered ourselves to be very mature. A 12 and a 14-year-old, practically adults. Easy game. Here's the trailer for Toontown. Oh, thank you, Bex. Sorry to our audio listeners. I'll describe it for you, but let's have a look at Toontown. Oh, sweet jeez. Okay. Is this an MMO? I believe this is an MMO. I believe, ladies and gentlemen, this is an MMO. Here we go.
Ever wondered what it would be like to live life as a toon? Imagine creating your own animated character, exploring the ever-changing world of toons, causing classic cartoon mischief.
It looks like, is it Disney endorsed? I'm seeing Mickey Mouse.
What it's truly like to live life
it looks like Kingdom Hearts.
Well, here's your chance.
But everybody's a mouse or a rabbit. Oh my god. Okay, if I was to describe this to our audio listeners, it looks like a Disney-sponsored, better animated Roblox. This actually looks way better than Roblox.
Now it's not all seltzer and slapstick in Toontown. A band of corporate robo-cogs are trying to mess
It is
up
from
all the
Disney.
fun.
Yeah, I mean, Mickey's in it.
How typical of someone in a suit. It's up to you and your friends to band together.
Okay,
and
it's
take
about the
back
war of the
Toontown.
Toons versus Toontown. Alright, I will not be playing that game. I will not be playing that game, but it does look way better animated than Roblox, so there you go. Lame One was telling everybody, though. He told all his friends at school about this Cataclysm MMO. It turned out 2 of them had been playing Cataclysm for years. Lame One called them fucking stupid, because it was only just coming out. To which they explained, so believable to call your friends stupid as they try and explain it to you, that it was actually a game called World of Warcraft, and Cataclysm was just the latest expansion on that game. As soon as we got home, Lame One approached me and asked me if he could use my computer to play World of Warcraft. Now, you might be wondering, why would a 14-year-old, who is clearly the superior, be asking a 12-year-old if he can use his computer to play a game? Well, actually, you might not be wondering. It's exactly what you probably think it is. Lame One was banned from his computer because he got caught browsing sketchy websites and wasn't allowed to use it at that time. Busted. Busted, dude. Busted. Absolutely busted. So I made a deal with Lame One. He could use my computer while parents were asleep, and I would keep it on the hush. In exchange, he had to let me play the game on his account while he couldn't play when my parents were awake. He agreed, and our adventure begun. Seems like a good deal. He made himself an elf druid, and immediately I was hooked on the world of Azeroth. Just from watching over his shoulder. I didn't expect to be interested in some nerdy magic fairy elf game, but Jesus Christ. This was good. Every moment I was home and my parents were awake, I logged onto Lame One's account leveling something. I would level a character to something between 5 and 10 and then log out and make a new character of a different class. I did this with literally every single class in the game before ever making it past level 10. Eventually, though, I started to get bored. I had no one to play with. I had no friends who played. And Lame One and I couldn't play together. Oh. A few weeks went by where I just kind of stopped logging in much. I ended up making my own account because I wanted my own characters when Lame One eventually got his computer back. But even then, my parents paid for it. I didn't want to play very much. I would mostly log in, farm level 6 harpies in Teldrassil because I was convinced that the 5 copper they were dropping would add up and pay off later. I found this 5 copper now. Oh yeah, look after the coppers. The gold will look after itself. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? One day when I returned to playing the game more seriously though, I was going to be filthy fucking rich. This isn't relevant to the rest of the story, but I did somehow accumulate 3 gold doing this. Well done, dude. You're on your way to your legendary items. That's pretty huge. That's pretty huge. I also continually, occasionally create other characters, level them to 7, log off, and do it again. I was naive, I was young, I had a few interesting encounters, such as the time someone dueled my low-level enhancement shaman, destroyed me, and then asked why I was using lightning shield on every global. I told him I was trying to parry his attack with lightning orbs. Kind of big, actually. I mean, kind of huge. The guy tried to explain to me that it made no difference. But I thought he was a lying scammer. Liar. I know what I'm doing. I know how it works. I continued on. My highest level character was a dwarf hunter that made it all the way to level 21. I equipped every single green that dropped. This led me to a beautiful combo, ladies and gentlemen, of cloth intellect gear. I also tried to start an auction house empire by offering people an entry to a raffle if they bought my items. A raffle for what? Oh, you tell us. Okay. I did this for about a month. Only 2 people ever believed that this wasn't a scam, which was very disheartening, as to me it sounded really fun. Oh, bless you. The guy who won the raffle received some linen cloth and low-level potions that I had taken from kobolds. Oh. He didn't rage at me, though. He just said, cute, and went on his way. One fateful day, Lane One got his computer back from our parents. His 2 friends, who were WoW veterans, Petsod and Decadence, invited both of us to come and level new characters on their server. All 4 of us teamed up to make Night Elf Druids. Losers. And off we went. We thought it would be so badass to be a squad of animals trampling anything in our path. So today I got harassed by 2 chickens and 2 cats. Really scary stuff. We reached about level 6 when Petsod had to log off for dinner, of course. And he did not return for the rest of the night. At about level 8, Decadence also logged off as his mum told him to go to bed. Neither of them ever logged on those druids ever again. And that was it. That was it. Dinner and bedtime. The crew is destroyed. Shattered. Shattered by dinner and bed. Lane One and I were having fun, though. We didn't need them. We were able to play as brothers. And we pushed on together. Lane One and I were not particularly good at staying where we were supposed to. Somehow we kept finding ourselves in zones with enemies that were way beyond our capabilities. But exploration. We loved it. The world was vast and mysterious, and we wanted to see every piece of it. However, we had an incident in Felwood. We learned, if we stay on the path, we're generally okay to travel in new zones, have a look around and see what's going on. But Felwood was not to be the case. There was a bear. Big bear. A big brown bear. And it was right on the path. We couldn't go around it. There was too many things around. He was playing Resto, I was feral. Our belief was that a bear could not kill 2 people if one of them was also a healer. But wrong. We were destroyed. In an attempt to escape the bear, we ran into more bears. Our bodies were being camped by fucking bears in Felwood. We couldn't find a single place to release where we were safe. In a last attempt to get away, we took res sickness. There was a fucking bear near the graveyard. We died again. In our teenage desperation, we didn't know what we could possibly do to get out of this. We just wanted to go back to a safe place, somewhere where we could level in peace. We'd gone too far and we knew it. We didn't care about the XP. We just wanted to level up now and kill those fucking bears. We wanted to eradicate every single bear in Felwood. This was to be our motivation. Lane One being the more mature of us both, at 14 years of age, swallowed his pride and whispered Petsod for help on his main. Petsod So much higher level than us. Like a king among men. He thought it was hilarious. He laughed at us like we were the biggest pieces of shit that had ever lived. But he did come to our rescue. And I saw it. A level 80 human Death Knight flew onto the scene and slaughtered every single bear in a 50-yard radius instantly. I know now this wasn't impressive. But for me, at 12 years old, I audibly said, what a fucking badass. I want to tell you what happened next, but I don't remember. It's all a blur. And at some point, Lane One and I had grown apart. Not in real life, but in levels. He was simply sweatier than I was. Way more sweaty. He took the game seriously. He just played all the time. And when that happened and we started to break apart from my brother, I just started to play less. I would log in for maybe an hour or two, do a couple of quests, but I wasn't going to turn into him. No way. A while later, Lane One came into my room telling me to come and watch him play. Experience the majesty that is him. He had reached max level. And Petsod was now playing with him on his main character. That same DK I had seen earlier. They were in what they called a battleground. I watched as Petsod used a purple line to drag a Horde player right on top of him and slaughter him. Jesus fucking Christ. I had to have a Death Knight. I had to have it now. I had to know what real power felt like. After watching them, I went straight back to my computer, logged into WoW, and I clicked Create Character and looked for DK. The game told me I was shit and needed to have a level 55 character on my account. Okay. We have a goal. We have a mission. And it's no longer just to murder bears. We're going to level a druid to 55. I logged back onto my feral druid and holy fuck, why are there giant claw marks on the front gate of Stormwind? Why is there a crater in the Barrens? The cataclysm had happened. And I didn't know. I had no clue what that meant. I thought this was amazing that Blizzard would go out of their way to change the zones with each expansion. Were they doing this every single expansion? Change the whole world? My God. I wasn't sure what to think, but nonetheless, my goal lies straight ahead. I had to get my druid to level 55 to experience everything this game had to offer. I was already 47. It didn't take more than a couple of days to reach 55, and the second it dinged, the second the light shone up, I already knew what I was going to create. I knew where my glory lay. It wasn't going to be in some pansy human or silly gnome. I made myself a Worgen Death Knight. Really? I played through that starter zone having the time of my life. And despite having so much fun, it still took me forever to level that Death Knight. I was a busy kid. I'm 12. I've got a strict regimen. I've got school where I need to then go to the park or walk around with my friends almost every day. By the time I got home, I barely had time to do homework before bed, but I must do a few quests on that DK. And eventually I reached level 85. I leveled as a blood spec. Blood sounded badass, so I was going to be playing blood. And the gameplay was crisp. I loved it. I did a good amount of damage, found myself enjoying the tanking gameplay. However, there's another problem, my friends. I am massively insecure about my play. I was so afraid of fucking up or frustrating people with a bad pull that I decided the way to get around this anxiety and to make everybody happy is that I made a macro that would ready check before every pull in random heroic dungeons. Oh, genius. Oh, hey, fucking 10 out of 10. Oh, that's beautiful. No, that's fine. That's really good. Oh, yeah. Yeah, good call. Really good call. Yeah, that's that. At least, we're all ready to go, right? Problem solved. Honestly, I know you will want to tear what remains of your hair out. Cheeky fuck. Fuck you, man. But most groups were actually pretty chill with it. It must have been obvious I was new and nervous. They either just went along with it and said they were ready, Or they'd eventually tell me, it's okay, don't worry about if we're ready. If we're not ready, we'll tell you. That was encouraging. And over time, I got confident going at a better pace. See the way he didn't have to be toxic? Instantly, all of you were toxic. Every single one of you was fucking toxic immediately. There was no pause. There was no break. There was no pass go. Everybody was immediately toxic. And all these guys had to do saying, it's cool, man. Chill. After a few months at level 85, Laymon's friend Decadence offered to play with me. He admitted straight up, I'm not as good as Petsod. He is the Chadness. But he wanted to show me the world of PvP. Decadence was also a Death Knight. Jesus Christ. This is now 3 14-year-old Death Knights. Nightmare fuel. Holy shit. 3 14-year-old PvPing Death Knights with a Call of Duty background. Well, fuck me. Oh my god. DK's for the win! However, he was comfortable playing 2 specs, so I knew he was pretty good. Sometimes he would play Frost, and sometimes he would play Blood. I couldn't do that. I could only play Blood. We queued up for 2v2 arena as Frost Blood DKs. Oh no. This did not go well. I hadn't yet learned how to do interrupts, and I didn't really do any damage. I just sort of survived while the enemies killed Decadence. He thought this might be a cool strategy, so we both went double Blood DK. We started winning. We made it to 1500 rating. In a lot of games, players would just spit on us and leave. They thought you were good Blood DKs. That's so funny. People just saw double Blood, spat on them and left like, fuck you two, dickheads. I didn't understand why at the time, but Decadence thought it was hilarious. I just want to say that I apologize. I apologize to the community for my actions. This does not represent me as a person, and I swear to you all as an oath on my person, I would never ever queue as double Blood DK in arenas ever again. We accept it. We accept it. After that experience, we didn't really do arenas again. We did a lot of BGs as a group of 4. Me, Lane 1, Petsod, and Decadence. Lane 1 was getting pretty good as his Resto Druid. Jesus Christ, 3 Blood DKs and a Resto Druid? Shoot me in the face. Shoot me in the goddamn face. Oh my god. Petsod was genuinely a good player. And Decadence kept up as well. I, though, was the weak link in the chain. I refused to not play Blood. So, they gave me the prestigious task of watching the flag. One day, while watching the flag and pressing random keys on my keyboard, I learned that if I press X, my character would sit down. I didn't realize I could enact some stealth into my gameplay, and my COD brain kicked in. So I decided I would sit down and ambush anyone who tried to take my base. So I walked out of the flag room and sat in a bush. You can see it now. My male Worgen Death Knight with a bright glowing blue transmog sitting in a bush outside the flag room. I was convinced people wouldn't see me. I genuinely got frustrated when people just ran up and targeted me. Eventually, Decadence had to come back and defend and saw me hiding in my bush. Decadence asked politely, "What in the fuck are you doing in that bush?" And he kindly explained the concept of nameplates, while holding back most of his laughter at the idea that I was sneakily hiding in the bush in Warsong Gulch. More time passed, of course. Petsod stopped playing with us in favor of playing with better players. Oh. Oh, I've weighed it up, and I'm not going to play with you anymore. I'm going to play with these guys. Okay? Just making that clear that I would prefer to play with anybody else. Decadence did PGs with us occasionally. Laymon would tag along to my heroic dungeons a lot, despite usually not needing anything from them. What a good brother. I liked hanging out with them. But I didn't like PvP. I liked Blood DK. I didn't feel like Blood DK was suited for PvP. And that Blizzard should change it so that I could enjoy PvP. That's what it is. Yeah. That's what it is. You should make your complaints on the forums. Tanks need more help in PvP. They really do. Especially back in Cataclysm. People will support that. Yeah. People will support that every single day. I always felt disorientated with all the things happening at the same time in PvP. It was very busy. I liked my dungeons. Dungeons were slow. I could go at my own pace. And I got to play with my brother. It was nice. So I got more invested in PvE, of course. You could see where we're going. I loved doing dungeons and farming Valor points. I decided I wanted to maybe try the big boy raids. Maybe they were just like BGs. Maybe I could join a raid. But the thought of stepping foot in there into a raid with all them extra people, it caused all my anxiety and insecurities to come roaring back. What if I did something that killed everybody? What if I did something wrong and the raid leader shouted at me? I don't know what to do. But how can I learn without trying? At this point, Lane 1 was in a fairly casual guild that was clearing normal firelands. This was after Dragon Soul was already out. In hindsight, his guild gave no fucks about progression and were just enjoying a little bit of a raid, a little bit of gear with the lads. At the time, however, they were gods in my eyes. They were killing Ragnaros the Fire Lord. And I belonged to a real-life family where one of... Oh, how old are you now? You must be 13 by this point. Where somebody in my real-life family was a bona fide raider. Surely you could help me. Surely you could teach me. And so I did the only thing I could and turned to my brother. And surprisingly, he helped me. He told me about this cool feature that was joining the game called Looking for Raid. You fucking piece of shit. You absolute piece of shit. Have you heard of our Lord and Savior, the LFR? Honestly, this seems fine. LFR's a good place for him. This is fine. No, this is fine. LFR will show him what it looks like. He'll get rid of some of that anxiety. He'll see what the bosses look like. He'll play with a lot of people. He told me I could queue up like a dungeon. And I could try the bosses, and the raid was really easy, so I didn't have to worry about making mistakes. He told me if I go in and play DPS, I can't even kill everybody, even if I wanted to. I would be able to be totally safe in there. This was a problem, though. I'd never played DPS before. I don't know where to start. So I had an idea. A stroke of genius. If the raid is really easy, then I don't really need to play DPS. Because DPS is apparently unimportant. I could just play Blood DK in Frost Presence and do whatever. I can't get aggro without tank presence unless I would taunt. Problem solved. That's all I had to do. So, in my Blood spec, I selected DPS and joined the queue. To be fair, Blood was a really good DPS at one point. Not in Kata, though. The queue dropped. The queue popped. I joined, and it was magical. There were so many people. There were spells flying from every direction. The enemies were huge. There was so much happening. I was having the best time ever. We killed a boss. Seemingly no one had noticed I was playing Blood. I must have been doing okay. I was feeling good about it. Nobody was giving me shit. And then suddenly my heart sank. We're clearing the trash for the next boss when a message appeared in chat. Excuse me, mate, but that DK there, he's playing Blood, Lamau. He did less damage than the actual tanks, brother. Let's kick him, though. Let's kick him, though. Right? Right, lads? Let's kick him, though. I was done for. I was done for. That was it. If I got kicked, I would never join here again. Kicked after the first boss. I explained I'm new. I'm new. Don't shoot! And I don't know how to play Frost or Unholy. I don't want to cause trouble as a tank because I don't know how the fights work. I don't know how that works. I just want to see what the raid is like. Mate, you is well shit. You is well shit. Oh my god. Have you seen what this guy is like? Oh my fucking god, mate. The player continued to mock me. He told me, can you even read a guide, mate? Can you even read, though? He continued to call me names. I was shattered. Out of nowhere. Like a guardian angel sent straight from heaven. A mage spoke up. His name was Nups. Nups was by far the highest DPS in the group. The bar on his damage was more than double everybody else's. He spoke with authority and confidence. He said, "Lo, give me a break. He's a new player who made all the right decisions to see the raid without putting anybody else in frustration. Why would you kick him from here?" Shortly after that, a healer spoke up as well. And my axe, agreeing with the mage. And then another warrior stood up, and my sword, calling out the original insulter a dickhead and reassuring me. I was on the verge of tears. I wish I had been capable of expressing how much that meant to me in that moment. To have the golden touch of Nups rub me right on the head was like being born again. The dickhead shut up and the run continued without a scratch. I felt validated. I felt like I was part of a community. I felt safe. With a rush of euphoric confidence, I finished a whole wing of LFR. I left the group. Oh no! Oh no! Nups, what did you do? Oh, Nups, what did you do? I left the group. I clicked the blood presence button and signed up as a tank for the next wing. The queue popped in seconds. I joined that group, and the first message I typed was, "Hold up! I am new, and I don't know what I'm doing." The response was an unenthusiastic, "Okay," from the other tank. But he whispered me. Just taunt when I say. He never once told me to taunt. He solo tanked the whole raid. But for me, I was on top of the fucking world because I just tanked a raid. Oh, bless your heart. Oh, bless your fucking heart. It's too cute. Which wing can you solo wing in the in Dragon Soul raid? Last wing? You could solo tank the first wing. I think it was in 3 rings, Dragon Soul, right? Something. I think it was in 3. Was there only 2? After the LFR. I was so filled with confidence. I told myself that I would become the best at this game. And that nothing would stop me. That competitive drive hit me again with full force that I felt all the way back in my Call of Duty days. I started to Google guides to become better, to become more. And one of the first things I learned was about keybinds. I didn't know that we could bind spells to the keyboard. The spells were automatically binded. I could see the numbers on the action bars. But it made no sense. I had more than one action bar, and I had a perfectly good cursor that I could click them with. But this baldy YouTuber made a convincing argument. You're being very passive-aggressive in here. to the point of just straight up aggressive. To the point of just straight up aggressive. Yeah, I wonder who. I bound major abilities and tried to use them. I used basic keybinds like 1, 2, 3, R, F. It was almost impossible. I was playing so much worse than when I was clicking. I could see why it would be beneficial, though. I understood the purpose. I was no longer staring at my cursor. I could move my character and press my spells at the same time. Wow. Amazing. I could now turn around while using abilities. Jesus. Fucking wacky. What a wacky time. So I had a new idea that would... oh, sweet fucking God. And I'm pretty sure, for the first time in weeks, audience, you are now guilty of this. What's his new idea? Come on. What's his new idea? He's just discovered key bindings. So what's his brand new amazing idea? That's going to make life so much easier. Macros? No. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Bubba Big Bass. Nails it. I was going to buy an MMO mouse that had 12 buttons on the side. And I was going to level a new character from scratch like the YouTuber told me using keybinds. That is the best way to do it. I don't know if it still counts, but it is the best way to do it. Not buy the MMO mouse, though. You don't need an MMO mouse, for the love of God. I felt this would be the best way to get used to keybinds without the pressure of max level content and muscle memory on my Death Knight. With the LFR interaction fresh in my mind. Look, no, to defend, there's nothing wrong with an MMO mouse. There's nothing wrong with it. The problem is, if you can only use an MMO mouse, and it breaks, and you're the dipshit who has to says, I can't go to raid because I don't have a 12-button mouse available. All I've got is a measly 5-button mouse, and I can't deal with that. That's when it's a problem. That's when it's a problem. So I made myself a new character, a mage. The strategy I came up with was actually incredibly successful. At this point in my life, I had so much more free time than when I started World of Warcraft. I hit level 85 in that mage within the week, and by then I was fully accustomed to using my sweet MMO mouse and a handful of keyboard binds for all my abilities. I didn't click a single goddamn spell. I tried to log back on my DK and transfer this new skill, and I was instantly back to being a clicker. Every single muscle in my hands told me to click my Death Knight spells. My advice to you was to make the same character again and level that. That's how you do it. Okay? If you're a DK who's a clicker, you make a new DK that uses key bindings. That's how you do it. Okay? That's how you do it. I wanted to ride this momentum I had. So instead of learning to keybind my DK, I just fucked that character off. I was now a mage. A keybinded mage, though. After all, I didn't want that pressure of tanking raids. It was too much. I wasn't comfortable. So, it's time to be a keybind mage. I farmed dungeons and more dungeons and more dungeons and LFR, and eventually I had a good quality LFR set. I had read guides and watched videos studying the fine art of the Arcane Mage. The Cataclysm Arcane Mage. Nailed it. I'm a god. I am an actual fucking god. Actual god. Arcane Blast. Arcane Blast. Arcane Blast. Oh, the Cataclysm Arcane Mage was something pretty special. Pretty special. Hey, if you're Arcane now, be thankful for your forefathers who had to put up with some shit back in the day. I was doing decent damage. I'd even topped DPS in a couple of LFR runs. And then I saw it. This was my opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. I stumbled upon a guy posting in trade chat about his guild. They were starting Heroic Dragon Soul. They needed people. They needed a healer and a DPS. They even specifically wanted a mage. Was this a sign from God? Due to my lack of experience, I was sure I would be denied, but our server was kind of dead. Competition was not that tight. He didn't deny me straight away. He heard me out. He said he should speak with his GM and figure out how to handle my noobishness, but their desire for players. They proposed to me a trial process. Okay. Now, their process that they came up with started with me joining a group with the recruiter and the guildmaster. I was sweating. I was nervous. But at the same time, I was so confident. I had all my spells bound. I know I can do this. I just had to prove it. I can press Arcane Blast like nobody else. They told me that I needed to come for a test. That I needed to come to the training dummies in Stormwind. Oh, this is a good way of testing Raider's ability. This is good. They told me that they were using an add-on called Recount. And then said, go at it, son. Go at the dummy for a few minutes. And that was it. That was genuinely my trial. And I was fucking blasting. I knew how to do damage on a mage front to back. I knew my rotation. You're a fucking arcane mage, Gata. I knew my rotation like the back of my hand. 3 minutes in, I was still blasting. Sweat practically dripping from my face as I hammered my keybinds. They said something in party chat. I glanced down and read it between casts. The recruiter said, does he really just have to press Arcane Blast? So the GM reply was, I mean, it's working. They were impressed. I was in. They invited me to the guild. And the following week, they brought me to their normal mode clear to get me some real gear, as they described it. My damage? Blasting. I beat many of their main raiders despite a pretty big gear discrepancy. They funneled me every single item I could possibly want. I sat up tall in my chair. I was officially a progression raider. I was in the big leagues. And once I had that gear, once I had enchanted it, once I had done everything, I was popping off. I slapped every single boss and it wasn't even close. There was an issue though. Mechanically, I was a fucking clown. I was, in my own mind, completely inept. If I could stand still, I would blast. But I had no other clue what was going on other than stack, spread, kill. That didn't bother me though. I was a DPS. I'm here for my damage, not for my ability to avoid bombs. I would, if they, surely someone else would do the mechanics. Why would you have me? Excuse me, Mr. Raid Leader, why would you have me do these mechanics when I'm clearly number one on the damage meter? It makes no sense. Grayson, fetch me my slippers, please. And while you're at it, if you could funnel me the rest of your gear, that would be most acceptable. Thank you very much. If power infusion was a thing back then, I would have been given them all. They never assigned me to anything. I now know that's because they knew I wouldn't be able to do it. So they just did their best to support me. Have I raided with you? I feel like I've raided with you before. They just did their best to support me silently blasting. I never spoke a single word in voice comms the entire time I raided there. Part of this was because I was a late bloomer, and I still sounded like I was 11, despite being 14. They never questioned me. They never asked me to speak. All they wanted was my damage. Eventually, we make it to Spine of Deathwing, before burnout and roster turnover killed the guild. I was sad but proud of myself. I had gone from never entering a raid before to nearly full clearing Heroic, back when Heroic was the hardest difficulty, in the same patch. But now what? The guild I was in was actually the second best guild on the server. The best guild was full. They weren't even allowing anyone to apply. None of my friends do PvE. I was fucked. So it took a few weeks, but eventually I discovered one of my best friends in real life used to play WoW. Oh god, you're going to make your own guild, aren't you? You piece of shit. I was in the middle of moving 100 miles away from my father. So when he found out I played, he came back to the game and we started together. We realized that this server we called home was actually a shithole, and it was time to move on to bigger and better things. So we re-leveled on a high-pop server and entered our no-life PvP phase. All said and done, I ended up returning to PvE. And since then, You may want to know what I've done with myself. Well, you've probably heard my name. I have competed in several MDI Cups. I've raided in the top 5 world level guild. I maintain that competitive drive and eventually learn how to do mechanics. I'm not going to say who I am, you fucker. You fucker. Who can it be? It can't be Gingy. Not Dr. J. If you say top 5 world, that means you were number 5. Right? Otherwise, you say top 4 or top 3. Don't you? Right? That's the clue. Top 5 means you were world 5th. Yeah? Otherwise, you say it's lower. Max? No, it won't be. Max Mage? I don't think I've ever seen Max play Mage. Max did start late, though, I think. Ross? No, I don't think Ross went to top 5. He could have. He's very easily good enough, but I don't think he bothered. I don't think he did. Scripe? I don't think Scripe started in Kata. I don't know. Method or Pieces? Doesn't have to be at top 5. Oh, well. But probably recent, though, with the MDI. I don't know who it is. I don't know. They're not telling us either. However, despite my modern accomplishments in this game, I had more fun in WoW back when I was being camped by bears in Felwood. I didn't appreciate it at the time, but it was some of the best times of my life. For any listeners out there, don't let anyone make you feel like the end game is the only game. Don't rush to become a competitive gamer god. You can become competitive at any time, but you only get to be a fucking noob once. Sage advice, we give it all the time. Do not, if any of you invite people, let me just put this out with Dragonflight coming and people being excited about it. If you are inviting your fucking friends, do not make them level to cap as fast as possible so they can join in with you. Let them be shit for as long as humanly fucking possible. Let them explore, let them do the stuff. Everything is waiting for them at the end. I have a lot more stories from my early years of World of Warcraft, from guild drama to in-game relationship drama. If you've been in a top 5 guild, you have a lot of drama. However, I've typed more words here than my entire senior year of high school, so I'll save those for another day. Thank you for reading my tale, Preach. I hope you enjoyed it. I think we all did. I think we all enjoyed that little adventure. Yes, go explore, let it happen. No spoilers, just let them find their own way. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 5:30 in the afternoon here. We've been streaming all day, and it's time for me to say goodbye. But it's not the end of the week, because tomorrow, on Saturday, it'll be about 10, 11, whenever I can bother getting here, we will be having a stream tomorrow. We will be checking out some Dragonflight Alpha Profession stuff and playing some more Evoker, maybe a couple of different classes and stuff, messing around with those things. We'll be checking around with that. So there will be a stream tomorrow. So if you're up on a Saturday and you want to see some Dragonflight stuff, we'll do that. But after that, I think we're good until next week. And we'll be playing some FF and having some fun with that. All right. Who is this mystery player? I don't know. You can do your research. Who was a mage? All we know is top 5, probably after Kata, MDI competitor. They don't say they ever changed mage, but they may have changed class. They don't mention it. They jumped to the end game already. So, we'll see. We'll see. All right. Be good. I'll see you all tomorrow, hopefully. Be awesome, guys. Bye-bye.